Hey guys, Coding Aaron here, and today I will be delving into the backend of my Invictus project. So as you can see here, obviously I have a map, right? But in order to generate that map, I needed to know exactly where to put each one of these little tiles. And in order to do that, I needed a list of coordinates. And I decided to make my backend in Java using Replit, an online IDE. And I did it in Java because that's what I'm most comfortable with. I've been working with Java for almost 3 years now, and I personally really like it. I know a lot of people don't, but yeah, I digress. So here is the JSON object, otherwise known as JavaScript notation object. And what it is it's basically a giant list of tiles, and each tile has a coordinate and then a type. So the name of this object is called map, and the JSON object called map is made up of a JSON object called tiles list, which is a list of JSON objects, and those JSON objects are tiles. Yeah, it gets confusing really fast. So yeah, here, let's delve deep into how I actually did this, right? So here's my main, nice and neat. I all I do here is I call genMap, which is a method of the map class that I made, and a map is just a list of tiles, and here's the tiles object. And all a tiles object is it's a array of coordinates. So it's an x and y, and that tells the computer, or yeah, it tells my program where to actually put the tile, and also the type, tells it what type of, or which PNG to put there. If is it a grass tile, is it a mountain tile, water tile, yada yada yada. So here is my actual map generation class. So public class, and here we have the tile list, which is the list of tiles. This isn't actually the JSON object, but it's how I generate the giant list of tiles and all their coordinates. Here I have a hash map, and what this is I needed to get rid of redundancies because my algorithm, what it does is it generates uh it generates a honeycomb shape of hexagons, so 7 total. And then what I do is then on each of the 6 new created hexagons around the center, I call the generate hex on all of them. So what it does is it kind of over time honeycombs out and creates this giant big nice hexagon. So here's my JSON object map, and here's the list object, and here I call my gen hex, which generates the all of the tiles in a list. But in order to actually be able to properly place them, I need to sort them by their y value. So the ones with the lowest y value go at the top of the list, and the ones with the biggest y value or furthest down the screen go to the bottom. And this is because the way that I need to lay the map, I need to lay it from left to right, also going down. Yeah. So here, sorry. Yes, let's continue. So then here for the tiles list, which is the list of tiles that I just sorted, for each one of them, I make each tile into a separate JSON object, and then called tile, and then I put the tile object into the tiles list, which then gets added to map. Here is just a quick little try and catch statement that tries to write it all to the db.json, which is the file that stores the item. Here is my genHex method. So what it does is it generates 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 new hexagons around the center, and I have a condition: if it needs a center, it will generate it. If it doesn't, it doesn't. For obvious reasons. So yeah, and here is an add mountains. So all this does is it replaces a few of the tiles with mountain tiles just to spruce it up a little bit, make the map more boring. I will start working on actually making the map into what I want it to look like. So here, what I actually how I did this is I have a repository on GitHub called mapgen for Invictus, and this right here, the file stored on the their cloud, I actually access it remotely using something called JS Deliver, which is a CDN or content delivery network, which essentially is a bunch of distributed proxy servers that cache different files. They cache different files in the server that they can then send remotely when someone sends a request. So yeah, here is the map right now, but I wanted to show you guys something cool. Whenever I run this, what it'll do is after a few seconds, it takes a while because obviously this is a pretty big task. It generates a completely new map. These are, completely regular, well, with the random mountains. And what I can do here is I could map date. I can basically push this to the repository. And as you can see, it was just now updated. And if I click on it, what this is just a giant, it's the same file, it's just here. And if I actually go to the latest commit, I can copy this hex code and then put it right here. And now we have a completely different map. So my goal is to find a way to completely automate this whenever I generate the map from my replit. Hopefully I will find a way soon to how I don't need to actually put this little hex here. I actually did sort of find a solution. I was just gonna what I wanted it to do is just to look at the main the main branch of my repository and then to just grab the newest commit of this file. But for some reason, I think it's how JS Deliver caches their servers. It doesn't actually grab the latest one unless you force it to grab the latest one. And even when I did a no cache specification, it still didn't really work. But yeah. So this is it for the back end. I hope you guys learned something and have a good rest of your day.